Senator Warnock is going to join us live here in just a couple of minutes. But that idea that he is talking about, that the fight for voting rights is, yes, the latest battle in a long war for democracy, one that stretches back to the civil rights movement and well before that, but also one that is now being fought in this new crucible of the violent right-wing attack on the Capitol 10 weeks ago today, right? Which at its core was an objection, a rejection of democracy, a refusal to accept the results of an election in which the voters chose to oust the last president and install a new one. That is the new crucible in which we are having these voting rights fights right now. The Director of National Intelligence today put out an unclassified report on the threat of domestic violent extremism. Here's the top finding. It says, quote, the intelligence community assesses that domestic violent extremists pose an elevated threat in 2021. Enduring extremist motivations pertaining to biases against minority populations and perceived government overreach will almost certainly continue to drive domestic violent extremist radicalization and mobilization to violence. Then it says this. Newer sociopolitical developments, such as narratives of fraud in the recent general election, the emboldening impact of the violent breach of the U.S. Capitol, conditions related to the COVID-19 pandemic, and conspiracy theories promoting violence, will almost certainly spur some domestic violent extremists to try to engage in violence in the United States this year. The violent breach of the U.S. Capitol, the narratives of fraud in the recent general election, which was the ostensible justification for the Capitol attack. I mean, this is the intelligence community reporting that those things will, quote, almost certainly drive domestic violent extremists to commit more violent acts in our country this year. Almost certainly. It's from the intelligence community. Former President Trump is nevertheless still thumping away at this theme. Fox brought him on the air last night to continue to say that he actually won the 2020 election, that there were millions of votes that were frauds. He said our Supreme Court didn't have the courage to overturn elections that should have been overturned. He is still preaching this stuff, still stoking it. It already led to the Capitol attack. The Director of National Intelligence says today it will almost certainly lead to more violence. He's still pushing it. Fox is still pushing it on their air, inviting him on the air to wax ineloquent about it. And Republicans in the states really are just running with the whole idea that there was some sort of indefinable, unprovable, but definitely bad fraud in the last election. They can't prove it. They haven't been able to prosecute anyone for it. There's no public evidence of it whatsoever, but they just feel so concerned about it that they are rolling back voting rights more aggressively than they have in more than a generation. Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.